All right, can you still hear me? This was quite an energizing, fantastic session. I just really loved this. And it's really set the tone for just the last few minutes of closing. So I think, I mean, amazing just at this moment to see that we did it, right? So we came together, and like some of you left their country like after 3 years in isolation, 2 years in isolation, and here you are, and you know, honestly, I'm rather introvert sometimes, and so like also not exactly, you know, a bit uncomfortable, like meeting people again in large numbers. So we did it. That's great. And we, I think, acknowledged some of our achievements of the last year, and there was also a lot of criticism and, you know, outlining of shortcomings and way forward. So that's also both very important. And I think also we need to remind ourselves that on the one hand, some of this change may really take generations to put in place, right? While at the same time, I think there's a huge urgency, and the other actors, right, like the VC-backed actors, are extremely fast, right, on the ground, establishing realities that we then have to deal with. So I think it's a call for the co-op movement, right, to really be faster, right? I think we are often not fast enough to build these institutions and to really build these responses, right? So that's one of my takeaways for sure. I think that storytelling really matters. I think I learned over the last, I don't know, 8 years of working on platform cooperatives that that narratives can really like change the world, right? I mean, I guess we know this from history very well as well, right? And we see that I think there's a landscape in front of us. You saw a little bit of this, not completely fully articulated, but where you have like the split screen, right, of these labor platforms on the one hand, and then you have all these projects that are really very much unlike traditional cooperatives that really are dealing with mostly with data, right? Like data cooperatives, DAOs, right? And they are like different animals, right? That's not quite the same thing. So I think that's one thing I took away. And then there's all this technological experimentation with, you know, crypto networks, etc., and governance, and so, and this all needs to be supported. And I think, okay, I will be really quiet. It's getting too long already. All right, but I'm very excited, definitely. I think one thing that I take away is that we need to, that we really need like global coordination, right? I think I understand the urge to start in Europe, right? But I think we really need like a global coordination of this movement in support of these alternatives and across all these 3 areas, right? In labor, really like sort of oriented on business, right? But then also for these other projects as well. I think there's an urgent need for like a technical layer, a technical sharing layer, right? Where all of these projects can actually share data, like through a data trust or through another, you know, co-designed data layer. And an urgent need for like customizable software, right? That can actually be used in, let's say, just for couriers. And that now when a new project arises in the Global South, right, we can say like, yeah, well, here it is, right? You can use this, customize it. Advocacy, lobbying, obviously, and also a building of culture. And this is what these conferences have always been about, right? Like really creating rituals, right? Like people coming back and, you know, waiting for these formats to happen again and things like that. So, and also shared practical sort of educational material. And I think our courses has pushed a bit in this direction. And then, of course, also an advancing of research and a resource collection, right? Yeah, and I think, so, and out of all of that, I think some of you know we shared already that we are actually exploring the idea of a sort of global apex of digital cooperatives, platform co-ops, co-op adjacent projects. And so I hope you will next year when we all meet in Rio de Janeiro, you might hear more about this already in the next few months for those who want to work with us on that. So that's my last few thoughts. Yeah, and then we wanted to hear maybe from some people in the audience and just take like maybe just like 2-3 people and hear what sort of their takeaway would be. And So you would just raise your hand spontaneously, and oh, there's a hand in the back there, yes. All right, do you want to start?
Thanks, Trebor, for this.
Want to get up? You want to stand up that we can see you?
Yeah, if I can squeeze out of the seat, Trebor.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's a bit hard. Right. No, I couldn't. No, listen, I really, really agree that we should all hurry up. But I also take with me that we should do so with purpose, with a clear direction, and also carefully. And whilst I really admire the passion, the dedication, the ideology in this room, I also, as a union person, want to say, well, listen, work is work. We should pool all of that ideology and passion here towards forming a new social contract to break the exploitation of laborers, which means one of the reasons why cooperatives are created in the first place, that it's better to collectivize the risk, but also the benefits, given that so many workers are exploited. And to the data cooperatives, I'm really excited to learn how many of you are looking into this, but also we should do this with a new digital ethos in mind. We shouldn't replicate super big tech's super surveillance. How do we do this? By putting human rights at the very core of any data cooperative that is being created. So, my main takeaways is that that there's so much that you guys are doing that the world could benefit from. And I really hope we can pool that even more to create this alternative capitalism and data capitalism that's needed. So thanks for the words, Trebor.
Fantastic, great. Okay. Well, maybe one or two more reflections. I don't know, like we had 2 hands up here. Okay, or maybe Erik here.
Thank you. Well, I'd say one reflection is that it never ceases to amaze me how many great people are doing amazing things all over the world, and the power of our collective movement and the potential power. The other thing that never ceases to amaze me is, I've been basically in New York City, like literally in my apartment for basically 2 years. So something I think you sometimes forget is the world is very big, and it's going to be a whole lot of work to change all of this. So while I personally am very inspired hearing about the incredible projects people are developing, I think that there's a lot of hard work ahead of us. But I think that the answer to that is just to do the work and keep going. I don't think there are no shortcuts. So, if these venture capitalist tech bros think they can create the future, I think we can too. And frankly, I'm a lot more excited about the world that we're going to create.
All right. And I think maybe there was another hand up there. Yeah. It's right behind you. Yeah.
Thank you. Very shortly, what I'm going to take with me, maybe 2 quotes what I heard today. The first one, don't need to start from scratch, don't need to reinvent the wheel. So please go on and knock on the doors of more traditional co-ops. You can learn from many of their successes and failures, and they can learn much from you. And more space for a feminist approach of platforms and other underrepresented groups. That was my second one. And the third one, excellent speakers, excellent moderator, host, Jonas, congrats, and excellent organization of the whole event. Thank you.
Great. That's a perfect lead-in, because I have a few just little presents to thank my co-organizers, because I was in New York, right, and pleasantly organizing this from the distance, but these were actually the guys here on the ground, so I wanted to just quickly hand them this over as a little thank you and say.
Thank you very much.
Also.
Thanks, Trebor. That's so nice.
All right. Okay. And
in this spirit of thank yous, so of course we have thanked a lot of people yesterday night, and that was extremely important, the partners and the collaborators and the sponsors, but it has been mentioned already today before, I think it was also Stacco, there is a lot of other labor going on here in this room to make this possible, to make this event possible, and I really want to acknowledge this and also take the time for that. So there's been a lot of people working here tirelessly making this happen, and I've also said this yesterday, but I want to say it again, under not easy conditions. I mean, the corona pandemic is difficult for all of us, but making an event like this takes a lot of work out of the people that make it happen. And here, I'm not speaking about myself. So I want to really acknowledge these people, and there's quite a couple of them. And let me start with the event coordinators. They're now all here in this room, if I am not mistaken. My eyes are not so great. But first and foremost, Lisa Brandt here on the side. Thank you so much, Lisa. You did an amazing, amazing job. The same goes for you, Alisa Grübel. I think most of you have had many emails from Alisa in your mailbox. Then I also want to acknowledge Anne Steuer. Anne cannot be here today, but she has put a lot of effort into this event, and she needs to be mentioned as well, and I would also like to give her a round of applause, so this goes to Anne. And then on the event coordinator side, last but not least, Greta Franke here on the side. You've already seen her. She was presented. She's also on stage. Thank you, Greta. And then we've had a lot of people running around here doing different things today. We've had Stefan, who was leading some of you to the Tieranatomische Theater to make the videos with you. We had here on the side Ian. Ian was tirelessly carrying the microphone to each one of you all the way to the back, running. Thank you so much. We've had Leo Deibele in the back there working at the registration and in the entrance hall. Zoe Rose, the same goes for you. Thank you so much for the two of you for doing all of the work. And then we had Teresa Becher and Christian Liviu Niculescu. I think they're not here with us anymore because they were in the other rooms, in the Festsaal and in the Emil Fischer Hörsaal. But still, a great thank you goes out to them as well. So thank you, Teresa, and thank you, Christian. And then, obviously, this event didn't allow for everyone to be here that would have liked to be here. We've said it yesterday already, but that doesn't mean that this event does not go out. It goes out, and it has gone out. Yesterday night, we've recorded everything today. This will be online. People can watch it, and there's a lot of effort that goes into making that possible. So first of all, I want to thank everyone here on the site from BMK TV, BMK Media Production. Me, and I can speak, I think, for all the other organizers as well. We were freaking out, like, at least, 27 times throughout the day today, especially when it came to the live streaming and getting other people here on the screen. But no one here ever freaked out or had any anxiety, and that made me feel extremely calm. So thank you so much for making this seem so seamless and unproblematic. It amazes me personally. The same goes for Andreas Lemke taking the pictures here over the 2 days. Thank you so much. And the video production, Hendrik Schacht. I think you are, if I see you correctly, you're also standing over there. Thank you, Hendrik. Okay, that's it from my side for the thank yous. In general, this was an amazing work that a lot of people did. You did this, you made this event what it was, but of course, there's other people that I would like to thank you, and I'm just going to take them all together, and that is all of you here. I mean, obviously, also without you, it wouldn't be what it is and what it was, and it's amazing that you've made this trip. It's amazing that you came here. It's amazing that you made the space what it was. So thank you so much, and let's give ourselves also an applause to finish this off. Thank you. But
before we leave you into the evening, and of course we have a reception waiting out there for us, we have to announce that the conference is not over yet. The in-person meeting is over, but we will have some great virtual discussions taking place next week from Monday to Thursday, I believe. And you can find the links to all the sessions in the program, which you have printed, or you can find it online. We will have super interesting discussions about Brazilian co-ops. We will have another session about co-ops and unions. I believe we also have a session on data cooperatives. So join us next week in the virtual part. And for those of you who are here today in Berlin with us, thank you very much. And yeah, let's meet for a beer outside.
Just the last. No, this was the last sentence of the event. I'm just telling you where the beer is, you know. So it's not going to be here. It's going to be when you go to the other side. There's a nicer room. This one is a bit ugly. Let's be honest. The conversation is almost over here. So we're going to go to that really nice room, and we're going to have beers over there. And let's finish the night off in a nice way.
Woo.